अब थोड़े एक्सरसाइज देख लेते हैं. ये तो क्या था कि वर्ब्स का थियोरेटिकल एस्पेक्ट, हाउ वर्ब्स हैव टू बी यूज्ड. सो वर्ब्स में क्या क्या ध्यान रखोगे आप? एक तो सिंगुलर एंड द प्लूरल फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब, द थ्री फॉर्म्स ऑफ द वर्ब, प्रेजेंट टेंस, पास्ट टेंस, पार्टिसिपल, एंड बाद में द फाइनाइट एंड इनफाइनाइट, दैट इज द नॉन फाइनाइट वर्ब्स. नॉन फाइनाइट वर्ब से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस एरर डिटेक्शन में खासकर आने की गुंजाइश ज़्यादा रहती है. ठीक है, तो उनको समझना है, एंड आई थिंक विद प्रैक्टिस यू कैन get a command over it. That will not be a big problem. Okay, let's take some examples. The chief minister said that his party would not repeat the mistakes done by the previous government. His party would not repeat the mistakes done. एक error होता है, error of diction, wrong choice of words. ठीक है, तो errors, when you say mistakes, are made, not done. I've done a mistake, we say, no, it's wrong. I've made a mistake. You don't do a mistake, you make a mistake. ठीक है, so बहुत बार ऐसे भी questions आते हैं, जैसे you say the student is planning to give the exam. It's not give the exam, to take the exam. वो हिंदी का translation हम करते हैं, तुम आप एग्जाम दे रहे हो क्या? देना हो गया give. But actually it's a wrong usage. IBPS is giving, it's conducting. Okay? So that's an error. Mistakes made by the previous government. While going through the report yesterday, I founded several mistakes. Founded का usage हम कहाँ करेंगे? है ना? Startups are founded by entrepreneurs. Founded का मतलब है establishment, laying the foundation. But अगर हमको कोई चीज़ I lost my mobile and finally I found it somewhere, तो वो खो के मिल गया, तो find, found, तो वहाँ founded नहीं आएगा, है ना? So I found several mistakes. मैंने बहुत सारे mistakes पाए. ठीक है, founded नहीं आए. This company was founded by, Infosys was founded by Narayan Murthy, Mr. Narayan Murthy. ठीक है, तब it was found by नहीं आएगा, तब founded by, है ना? The eminent speaker's speech was broadcasted over all the major radio stations. ये चीज़ थोड़ा सा समझना है. जनरली 3 फॉर्म्स ऑफ द वर्ब्स जब हम बनाते हैं, एक होता है जब तीनों फॉर्म्स अलग हैं, राइट, रोट, रिटन, स्पीक, स्पोक, स्पोकन, तीनों अलग हो गया. यू से डिसाइड, डिसाइडेड, डिसाइडेड, इसमें सेकेंड और थर्ड सेम है ना? कंप्लीट, कंप्लीटेड, कंप्लीटेड. बट एक फॉर्म होता है, एक कुछ वर्ब्स ऐसे होते हैं जिसमें तीनों सेम रहता है ना? जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ आई से समथिंग लाइक हिट, hit, 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 cut, 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 put, है ना? RBI decided, RBI cut interest rates, RBI may cut interest rates, है ना? Kohli hit century in this match to break Tendulkar's record. He hitted नहीं आएगा, he hit, है ना? hit. So ऐसे कुछ verbs हैं जिनके तीनों forms same हैं. Cast, cast, cast. Many people cast their votes during the elections. Casted नहीं आएगा, है ना? So broadcasted is a wrong usage. The eminent speaker's speech was broadcast, telecast, है ना? Broadcasted नहीं आएगा. तीनों forms same रहेंगे. All the 3 forms remain the same. Okay? I hope that's clear. He laid unconscious for half an hour until he was seen. Just now we discussed the usage of lie, lay, lain and all. He laid unconscious या he lay unconscious, लेटा रहा, है ना? लेटना, past tense में he lay. Laid का usage अलग है ना? Laid the foundation, they laid their life, है ना? RBI laid certain rules. तो यहाँ पे हम क्या बोलेंगे? Instead of laid, he lay unconscious. Past में, LAY. Right? You must not held in high esteem those. एक चीज याद रखना है कि जब भी हम can, could, may, might, must यूज करते हैं, उसके बाद your verb, main verb will always be in the first form. जैसे has, have, had के बाद verb third form में होगा, can, could, may, might, shall, should के बाद first form. So you must है, must not hold, है ना? Hold, held, held. Held wrong है, hold आना चाहिए. If you were to start early, you should reach there before sunrise. If you were to start early tomorrow morning, you should reach there before sunrise. If you were to start, you would reach there before sunrise, है ना? If you were to start, मतलब अगर आप जल्दी निकलोगे तो जल्दी पहुंच जाओगे, तो you would reach, है ना? Should नहीं, would. They ought have been enjoying. ought के बाद अभी हमने डिस्कस किया कि ought के बाद हमेशा to आता है. They ought to have, है ना? ought to have been, है ना? ought to. ought के is always followed by to. I was afraid that if I asked her again, she may refuse. I was afraid that if I asked her again. See, I was afraid के बाद that और if दोनों connectors हैं. I was afraid if I asked her again, that की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है वहाँ पे. It's not required at all, है ना? So I asked her, I was afraid if I asked her again, she may refuse. ठीक है? You don't require the word that. He dare me to fight with him. Just now we discussed, dare के साथ जब आप verb use कर रहे हो तो उसमें से to हट जाएगा, है ना? So he dare me fight with him. He dare me to fight नहीं आएगा. He dare me fight with him. ठीक है? If I hadn't seen the car coming, I may have been killed. If I hadn't, had past है तो may का past form क्या है? might, है ना? तो आपको इसको भी उसी फॉर्म में रखना है. I hadn't, I might. may नहीं आएगा. It will be might. I dare not to ask her. Dare के बाद to हट जाएगा. So I dare not ask her for any more. है ना? I dare not ask. To will be removed. I think we had discussed now. Some verbs after that when infinitive is used उसमें से to हट जाएगा. When the publisher is not busy, he uses to talk. He talks. Uses to talk का usage गलत है. Used to हम बोलते हैं past में. He used to do this. He talks to the writers. है ना? When he is not busy, he talks. Like you say, when I am not busy, I watch movies. है ना? As I have already mentioned, I could learn a great deal during the 2 years I spent. I spent या I had spent, है ना? I had spent. ये हम टेंस में और डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. जब दो पास्ट एक्शन होंगे, उस दोनों में से जो पहले हो जाता है उसके साथ had लगता है. पास्ट परफेक्ट बोलते हैं उसको. ठीक है? So I had spent. Had is missing, है ना? I had spent. You need not read the whole book, but you should read the first 4 chapters. That's right. I think there's no error. You need not read, but you should read. You are recommending. Yeah? So we don't find any error in this sentence. Yeah? I have friends who should love to stay at home. Who should love to stay or who would love to stay? Yeah? Who would love. Should का बोलेंगे. You should stay at home if the weather is very bad. Don't go out. करना चाहिए. So who would love to stay at home? है ना? But they have to go to work. ठीक है? So this is how you have to understand how verbs have to be used. Right? Verbs are definitely very important in a sentence. Error detection में भी हो गया. Verbs fill in the blanks में भी हो गया. Because according to the subject you have to decide कि आपका verb singular form में होगा कि plural form में होगा. Blank के आगे अगर has है तो then you know कि अब third form of the verb ही use होगा. So from the option you have to check which verb has the third form. If all are in the third form, then you have to decide according to the meaning which is appropriate. So verbs are definitely very, very important as far as these kind of questions are concerned. And खासकर आपको क्या क्या ध्यान देना है? The 3 forms, the singular, plural, non-finites को कैसे use करना है, कहाँ पे to लगेगा, कहाँ पे नहीं लगेगा. So if you practice more examples, I think you will gain confidence in the usage of verbs. है ना? तो because verbs को अगर आपने अच्छी तरह समझ लिया तो subject verb agreement में भी ज़्यादा problem नहीं आए. तो subject verb agreement से related questions आते ही हैं एग्जाम में, है ना? तो then you will not have much of a problem. You will be able to understand it in a better way. So use the verbs appropriately, especially in the writing task also. है ना? Verbs को कैसे use करना है. That is very important. खासकर error detection के questions में ज़्यादातर questions based on एरर्स इन द यूसेज ऑफ वर्ब्स होते हैं, ठीक है. तो इसलिए यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस मोर ऑफ वर्ब्स. सो आई होप दैट्स क्लियर अबाउट वर्ब्स, राइट. So in the next class probably we'll discuss some other part of speech or some other topic of grammar. Practice more. The more you practice, you read regularly, I think that would be better. When we read, when we understand these rules, हो सकता है कि we are getting confused also. Don't get bogged down by that. उससे चिंता नहीं करना आपको. आपको समझना है rules को. Application of the rules पे ज़्यादा focus कीजिए. And वो कब strong होगा? When you practice more. है ना, जितना ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस करोगे ऑटोमेटिकली रूल समझते आए. इंस्टेड ऑफ स्पेंडिंग टू मच ऑफ टाइम एंड मेमोराइजिंग द रूल्स को मेमोराइज करके कोई फायदा नहीं है, बिकॉज नोबडी इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू कि जेरेंड का क्या रूल है, अब जेरेंड क्या है, इन्फिनेटिव क्या है. नोबडी इज गोइंग टू आस्क यू. द एप्लीकेशन, द यूसेज इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट, कि कहाँ पे आईएनजी यूज करना है, कहाँ पे 2+ वर्ब यूज करना है. उतना अगर हम समझ गए तो आई थिंक दैट्स इनफ, है ना. सो दैट्स इट फॉर वर्ब्स. Do practice, so that you become more confident, right? So we shall meet in the next session later.